Welcome to The Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled you're joining us today because we're tackling a topic that is, frankly, absolutely crucial if you're running a small business in Auckland in 2026. Look, whether you own a local clinic, you're a tradie, or you run a professional firm, your ultimate goal isn't just getting random eyeballs on a webpage, right? Your real goal, the thing that actually matters, is generating actual, high-quality local leads. So today, we're breaking down the 2026 Auckland SEO agency landscape to help you find the exact right partner who can actually deliver those commercial results. Let's dive right in. Now, I really want you to stop and think about this for a second. Is your website actually making the phone ring? For years, the SEO industry has pushed business owners to totally obsess over abstract search rankings and generic monthly traffic. But let's be real. If you're a clinic owner in Grey Lynn or a builder in Albany, generic traffic doesn't pay the bills. It's time we finally challenge that old-school reliance on vanity metrics once and for all. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We'll quickly cover traffic versus local leads, look at the 2026 search landscape with AI and maps, compare Auckland's top agencies, find your perfect fit, and finally, walk through budgeting and your next steps. All right, Section 1, traffic versus local leads. Let's talk about moving past those frustrating vanity metrics. So there's this core conflict for owner-managed businesses. On one side, we have abstract rankings and generic monthly traffic. And hey, a graph going up and to the right on a monthly report looks nice, sure. But on the other side, we have what actually matters. Real calls, quote requests, and bookings specifically coming from the right suburbs. For a local service provider, every single inquiry is massive. So your ultimate measure of success literally has to be practical commercial outcomes. It's not just about an increase in national or international visitors who are never, ever going to step foot in your Auckland store. Moving right along to Section 2, 2026 search. We really need to talk about AI and maps because the digital landscape has fundamentally changed. First, let's demystify a bit of industry jargon so we're all on the same page. What exactly is local SEO? Basically, it's focusing your visibility in a very specific location. It's completely different from normal SEO that might target broad, nationwide keywords. Local SEO specifically targets Google Maps, local organic results, reviews, and suburb-based searches. The whole point is making sure that when someone in your service area is ready to hire a provider, your business is the one that shows up with incredibly strong trust signals. And you really need to hear this because our source material regarding the 2026 landscape highlights something absolutely vital. Search is no longer just 10 blue links. Google AI Overviews, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and all these other systems are now summarizing answers for users. What does this mean for you? It means if you want your Auckland business to be recommended by these AI tools, your website needs an AI-ready content structure. You need incredibly clear service pages, structured content, and robust local proof so these engines know exactly who you are, what you do, and exactly when to suggest you. Which brings us nicely to Section 3, comparing Auckland's top agencies. We're going to analyze the 2026 top-rated NZ shortlist specifically through that small business lens. Okay, we've got 5 fantastic agencies on this 2026 shortlist. But listen, the right choice strictly depends on your specific needs. At number 1, we have Kiwi Web Design. They're ideal for small businesses needing a website-first approach to local leads. At 2, Pure SEO, which is absolutely perfect for larger established brands. Found sits at 3 for businesses wanting a highly structured process. SEORANK is at 4 for companies wanting a pure SEO specialist. And Digigo sits at 5, offering a really balanced mid-market context. Every single one of these is top tier, but finding that commercial fit is what you really need to pay attention to here. Let's zoom in on the number 1 ranked agency for a second, because they earned this spot specifically for the small business lead generation category. So why exactly is Kiwi Web Design sitting at number 1? Well, they are built directly for tradies, clinics, and local services. They fundamentally recognize that SEO just cannot perform properly if your website's service pages are thin or slow. So they use this website-first SEO approach. They combine local SEO, Google Business Profile support, and that AI-ready content planning we talked about into one cohesive lead generation system. And here's the kicker. They don't just report on rankings. They track calls, quotes, and actual inquiries. For the vast majority of Auckland small businesses, this is absolutely the most commercially sensible starting point. All right, let's move to Section 4, finding your perfect fit. Because different business setups require entirely different strategic tools, let's categorize the other 4 agencies on our shortlist. Take Pure SEO. They're one of New Zealand's most established digital agencies. They're built for established brands with large budgets. If you've got multiple stakeholders and you need a massive multi-channel delivery team for things like paid search, complex analytics, and super formal reporting, they are fantastic. But if you run a local clinic, that level of formal agency structure might honestly just be unnecessary overhead for you. Next up is Found. I actually love framing Found as the sensible middle ground. Their service positioning is incredibly clear. If you're a business owner who doesn't want to suddenly become an SEO expert, but you just want to know exactly what needs fixing without all the confusing jargon, Found is a rock-solid choice. They're highly structured and process-led. It's a great option if your website is already in excellent shape and you just need a dedicated optimization partner. Then we have SEORANK. Now, this is your pure specialist option. They focus purely on Auckland SEO and rankings. So if you already know for a fact that search visibility is your absolute primary growth channel, and you don't need any broader website design or creative support alongside it, SEORANK offers that laser focus. It's a true SEO-first positioning for companies with a very specific search-led brief. And rounding out our top 5 is Digigo. Digigo offers a really balanced mid-market conversation. They're incredibly useful if you're a business that's sort of comparing SEO alongside other wider digital growth channels. Think paid campaigns or content marketing. If you aren't quite sure which avenue to heavily invest in just yet, Digigo is a great shortlist candidate to help you balance and weigh those options. Let's transition to our final, highly actionable section, Section 5, Budgeting and Next Steps. Now that we know who the major players are, how do you actually go about hiring the right partner? The crucial thing here is understanding what you're actually paying for. SEO pricing isn't just a flat off-the-shelf rate. It depends heavily on 4 main things. First, your current website's condition. Look, if your site needs a massive technical cleanup, that's obviously going to be a higher initial investment. Second, your local industry competition. Third, the size of your service area. Are you targeting just one suburb, or are you trying to cover all of Auckland? And fourth, the amount of content production needed, especially to build that AI-ready structure we discussed earlier. Smaller, tightly focused local SEO engagements are actually highly accessible, but you really have to know your starting point. So when you sit down for a discovery call with any of these agencies, you need to use these concrete steps to vet them. Step 1. Ensure they deeply understand your specific services and the exact Auckland suburbs you want to target. Step 2. Verify that they track actual conversions. We're talking calls, quote requests, bookings, not just website traffic. And step 3. Ask them directly to explain exactly how their daily work translates into real commercial inquiries for your business. If they hesitate or can't answer that clearly, they probably aren't the right fit. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Will your competitors close the local gap before you do? Look, in 2026, the Auckland market is moving fast. AI is completely changing how people find local services, and an outdated website relying on old vanity metrics simply won't survive. It's time to take action on your local lead generation strategy. Choose a partner that focuses on your commercial reality, build a website that actually converts, and let's start making that phone ring. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.